This is a film of a brilliant day I had cycling in the northern part of the Netherlands, where literally I did cycle across the sea. So I actually got the train from Delft, where I was staying, which is south of Amsterdam, closer to The Hague. And this is on the line to Den Helder. So I'm following the signs for Leeuwarden here, and I'm going to cross the sea using the Afsluitdijk, which you'll see in a moment. So that's about 10 miles away from here. So all my Dutch films have got a windmill in it, and I was going to not follow the main road along the coast, but take these back roads, which are long and straight and pretty empty of traffic. And you can see it's a glorious day. So I was using these back roads, and you can see in the distance there, that's the main road along the coast, and that is the North Sea beyond there. So eventually I hit Westerland here, which is a small village on the main road, and then I hit the main cycleway, which is parallel, and comes to this the village of Den Over, which is on the southwestern side before you start your crossing across the Afsluitdijk. So south the motorway goes to Amsterdam, and north it crosses the Afsluitdijk to the northeastern the Netherlands. And it's towns like Groningen and Leeuwarden are the big towns, but I've never been to this area besides just crossing to the other side here. So I don't know this part of the Netherlands at all. So what you've got here is probably one of the great cycling experiences. I'd probably put it in the top 10, like cycling the Ventoux or Col de Tourmalet, which I have done. This is 20 miles straight across, parallel to the motorway on a beautiful cycleway, very flat, maybe a bit boring, but quite an experience, and I filmed quite a lot of this. I wasn't the only one going across that day, as you can see, but there weren't that many people. There was probably about maybe a dozen, maybe 15 or so in the hour and a half it took me to go across. So you can see those guys, they were making quite steady progress, but I was trying to film as well. And I've got this incumbent guy coming towards me.
Hi.
Well, there's plenty to see, and you can go at a steady pace, but these shots I was taking one-handed with the camcorder, so I was having to stop as well, and so I didn't do it a non-stop crossing. So about a third of the way across, you hit the first lay-by and parking area for people with cars to stop. And this is where I took these shots. And here you can see both sides. One side's the North Sea and the other side is the IJsselmeer. So you do feel like you are crossing the sea. Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit. I didn't literally cycle across it, but it's as close as you're going to get to cycling across the sea. So looking ahead there, you can't see the other side. It just goes on and on in the distance. So it's kind of like, I guess it'd be like cycling across the English Channel. It's about the same distance, maybe a little less. But that's looking south across the IJsselmeer. So if you went south, you eventually hit Amsterdam, and you see that as a Dutch flag. That should look good in HD. So you can just see the land on that side. This is the North Sea side. So I took this just before starting off on the second third. Beautiful tarmac, really nice. You can get quite a high speed once you get into a rhythm. And this is me taking some self-portraits, and you can see the cycleway just goes into the distance there. Here's another one of me. Goes on and on and on. Good thing about being on a bike is I can get off and have a look and actually see what's on the other side. And this is on the North Sea side. So you get a bit of peace and quiet for a minute or two. I was checking on Wikipedia, seeing when this was built, and it was built between 1927 and 1933. But it wasn't very clear whether the motorway was built at that time, so I think that probably came later. So 2/3 of the way across, you hit the second rest area, and there's a petrol station So I took these overhead shots from the connecting bridge, and you can just about see in the distance where we're going to hit land again. So for the final third, I cycled quite a bit, and I didn't take too much footage. It's towards the end here I took a little bit of footage because something unusual happened. You can see there's no traffic on the motorway here at all. That's because the drawbridge must have been up and all the traffic must have been stopped on this side. So I had an opportunity to go and wander. Well, I didn't climb completely onto the motorway, but you can see I got these shots here of an empty motorway. It took me about an hour and a half to do the ride across, but I was filming and stopping quite a bit, so you can do it in probably about an hour because it's so flat and the tarmac's so good. You can get into a nice rhythm and just plow out the miles. You don't have to stop. It's not that difficult really. So it does take a turn here, and as it turns, I've taken a long shot parallel so you can just see it a bit there. And this is coming towards the end, and this is where the boats can cross, so that's what's caused the traffic to stop, as you can see on the other side as well. And I'm taking a one-handed backward shot, moving. Yeah, you see the traffic here, waiting to get across. Anyway, I was on the other side now, and I needed to get back to Delft, which is quite a way, so I wasn't going to cycle all the way back to Amsterdam. I was too late in the day to do that. So what I planned to do, I was going to cycle down the eastern side here. You can see the dikes on the other side. Beautiful countryside, very quiet, quiet roads, and very nice cycleways through the villages. I wasn't planning to do more than 50 miles that day, so what I thought I'd do, I was going to go to the village of Stavoren and get the ferry cross back to Enkhuizen and then get the train back down south. And that's what I did in effect. So it's a mixture of quiet roads and cycleways, and it took probably about, it was over 15 miles to get to Stavoren. And I started to feel tired towards the end. I think I had 2 heavy days before, and I wanted to get the boat back and take it easy. But it was a beautiful, beautiful ride down this side. Very nice. So here's another windmill. I'm working on that one. And I think this was just out Stavoren. And this was the port here. I had about an hour to kill, so I had to wander around, cycle round. And there's a small canal system at the back of the village, or through the village. And this is the boat which I took across. I take bikes, of course. So this was late afternoon, and it was going to be about an hour's crossing. And I remember talking to, see, here's my bike there. Yeah, there's a couple of other cyclists. I remember telling them what I'd done, and they said it was boring, but they were locals. It's not boring if you've never done it before. It's a good experience. So the weather started to turn a bit. This was probably, it must be about 6, well after 6 o'clock now. So it wasn't so nice so late on. And I basically got the train back down to Delft via Amsterdam. So this is the arrival in Enkhuizen, which I didn't get time to explore, which it looks quite nice, the canals and everything. But check out this ride. It's if you're in the Netherlands, that part of the Netherlands, it's well worth doing. It's a unusual experience, and I enjoyed it.